Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you all are doing great. So in our today's tutorial, we'll be learning how to cut and sew this beautiful pencil skirt with additional gathers at the down parts. So I made this skirt with a 1¼ yards of suit fabric. You know those fabric they use for suits, because it's actually a corporate skirt. So if you know you love this, please kindly watch this video to the end. Do not skip any part, but because this is going to take you through. Maybe you don't know how to make a beautiful pencil skirt. This video got you covered. So let's quickly get started, guys. So this is my fabric. I'm cutting it with the lining. So my fabric is on fold, and the first measurement I will take is from my waistline to my hip line, which is 8 inches. So where I place my tape, I started my measurement from 1½ inches, which will be later replaced by the skirt band. So after the first line, which is my hip line, the last line there is the length of the skirt, which is 20 inches. So I'll come back to my waistline. I will take her round waist divided by 4. So whatever it gives me, I will input it. Then I will add 1½ inches for sewing allowance. I'll go to her hip line. I will take her hip circumference. That is her round hip. I will take it and I will still add 1½ inches for sewing allowance. So her skirt, her hip circumference divided by 4, that's what I have there. So at the down part of the skirt, I will remove 1½ inches from whatever I have around her hip. So that's what I will put there, because this is a very penciled skirt. So I added 1 inch for sewing allowance. You know, there is a joining. I will join the gathered part at the down part. So that is all about the front part. Remember, my skirt is on fold. Can you see that? So that is for the front part of my skirt. I will go ahead and cut the back parts. So I will place the front parts. Remember, the back part is still on fold. So I will place the front part on the new folded fabric. So the only difference here is just the zip allowance, and I'm going to be adding 1 inch to the back parts. Can you see what I'm doing? So this 1 inch, I'll be using it for the darts. Can you see? So that's just the difference between the front and the back. So I'll go ahead and cut. So that's it for the back. Can you see what the back look like? So that's 1 inch I added it to the waistline. So I'll go ahead and split the back part into 2, because that's where I'll be fixing my zip. So I will now fold the back part into 2. So I will now make a notch. So that place is where I'll be sewing my darts. So that's it. So I actually cut it with the lining. So I'll go ahead and cut it on the main fabric. So this is the front part. Can you see what I'm doing? I came down at the center of the front part of my skirt. I came down by ½ inch, because there should be a slope at the center front of your skirt. So that's what it is. So this is me cutting the lining and the main fabric. I use the lining to cut the main skirt. So now the second one, that's the one in my hand now, is the main fabric. So why I wrote chalk on it is because the front and the back of the fabric look alike. So to be able to identify it when I'm sewing, that's why I have to give it that chalk mark. So now the one on top is the lining. So I'll go ahead and cut the main fabric for the skirt, for the back part. That's it in my hand. Can you see? This is the main fabric. If you look at it, you'll see the difference. Can you see the X sign I gave. That's to identify the wrong part of my fabric. So that's what it is about the cutting part of this beautiful skirt. So guys, let's go to the sewing machine. So this is the back part of my skirt. So this place now I'm going to be joining is the zip part. I'll be turning that zip allowance with the lining. So this is the back part. So I place the lining on top of one side of the back part. So on that zip part, that's where I want to turn, because I will not weave anything on these skirts. So I have to turn everything. Can you see with the lining? This is the zip part. So after stitching, I have to top stitch. So I'm pushing the sewing allowance to the lining side. Then I will now top stitch. Just go ahead and watch. It's a very simple method of making a corporate skirt. A very neat one. Can you see? So this part now is the zip allowance part. So I've turned it with the lining. So I'll go ahead and do the same thing to the second part. After, I will give my skirt a very quality press. That's what I'm doing right now. So if you're having issues making a very sweet pencil skirt, this video has it covered. So don't skip any part. So after doing that, the next thing I did was to go ahead and measure for my dart. So the length of my dart for this skirt is 4.5 inches. Can you see what I'm doing? So that's the middle of the center of the distance. So I will now come to the skirt waist. I will take half inch on both sides. Can you see how I'm going to be holding my dart? The length of my dart is 4.5 inches. Can you see? So I'll now go ahead and stitch. So I'll do the same thing to the second part of the back part of my skirt. Remember, this is one side. Can you see my darts? So I'll go ahead and do this same thing to the other part. Can you see? So this is the two back parts. So I'll go ahead and join two of them together. You see? So I'll go and sew. So the upper part from 1 to 8 inches, that is my hip line. I will sew it with a loose stitch, because I will later open it so that I'll be able to join to fit the zip. So this part now, the down part will now be tight. So I'm done joining it. I will go ahead and iron it. Can you see the center back? So this is it. So I'll go ahead and give it a good press. Remember, the front part, there is no dart. So I'll pick, this is the front part, I'll pick the lining. This is the lining and the main fabric. So I will stitch the waist line, the waist side. I will attach the lining to the main fabric. Can you see? I'll stitch them together. So after stitching the waistline together, the next thing I will do is to turn the side, because I will not be weaving my skirts. So you can turn it before stitching the skirt and lining together. Why I have to do it like this is because I will still trim it. You already know how to trim. So to hold it together, can you see? I'm trying to turn the side of the back parts. Just look at what I'm doing. I will turn it, I will sew, then later I will now turn it to the right side. You see? So I'll do the same thing to the both side. Sewing a very pencil skirt is very simple, but cutting it, you might end up not giving it that pencil shape. So you have to be Your cutting has to be correct. Can you see? Can you see the skirts? I've turned the two sides, both the front and the back. This is the front part. Can you see the side? So you will not see the sewing allowance. So after that, the next thing I will do is to take the measurements. Just watch. Can you see? So I place the back part on top of the front part. So I will now take her measurements. So the zip allowance now is what's guiding me. So I'm taking it on the tutu side. Remember to remove 1.5 inches from whatever you have around your hip, so that your skirt will pencil well. If you don't do it like that, the pencil will not show. It will not be fine. The down part of your skirt will end up looking somehow. So if you want to make a pencil skirt, this is how to go about it, whether long skirt or short skirt. Can you see? So I've closed the two sides of my skirts. So I'll go ahead and open it. I'll go ahead and turn it to the right side. Can you see the skirt? You need to see the owner of this skirt wearing it. It's so lovely. So this is what my skirt look like. So I'll go ahead and fix the band. After ironing, make sure you iron every bit of stitch you make when you are sewing, whether skirt, whatever it is. Make sure your iron is by your side. It's very important. So this is my skirt band. It's just 4 inches width, and the length is the total length of my round waist. Take note. So I'll go ahead and fold 0.5 inch the first. So the second folding, I will now fold 1.5. That is the width of my skirt band, 1.5 inches. Remember, I first of all folded 0.5 inch. So I'll go ahead and trim out the excesses. So this remaining part now that I show, remember to iron hasty on your skirt band. So can you see what I'm doing? So I'm fixing the band from the right part of my skirt. Can you see? See? So the part where I did not fold is the part I'm stitching with. Later I will now cover it up. So I'm going to stitch it round. I've done that. So you see that part where I folded 0.5 inch is now the part I will use. Remember to sew from the right side of your skirt. So I will now go ahead and close the stitching. So after closing the stitching, the next thing I will do is to cut the down part. That's the gathered part, the extension of the skirt. So I'll go ahead and cut it, and I'll be using a lining to turn it. Just watch. So this is what it is. This is both the lining and the main fabric. It's just I cut it straight, and I cut times 3 of the round, the down part, the round. So I cut about 3 times of it, so that when I gather it, it will be full. So I'll now go ahead and use the lining and turn it. So the parts I turned is the down part of the gathered part, yet. So that part where I did not turn is the part I will stitch. So I gave it a loose stitch. Can you see? I gave it a loose stitch so that I'll be able to gather it well. So I will now pick the skirt. I will locate the midpoint of my skirt. That is the center. I will now notch it. Then I will do the same thing to my gathers. See, this is the center of the gathered part. So I will now start my sewing from the center front. So that's why after I will sew from center to the back, then I will come back again. I will now sew from center to back again. So that's just it about this skirt. So after that, I will now close it. After closing, I will go ahead and fix my zip. Can you see that this is a very simple skirt? So all you need to do is to cut it very well. Can you see? Can you see my skirt? So I turn the down part so that I will not hem it, and that will give it a more good finishing, to give it a professional finishing. So this is my skirt at the end of the day. I'm done sewing. I've fixed my invisible zip. This skirt is lovely, guys. You need to see this fitting on the owner. So this is what it is. Thank you so very much, guys, for watching. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you are new here. I really appreciate all that you guys have been doing for my channel. God bless you all, and may God bless the work of your hand. Thank you. Thank you, and God bless you. Bye for now. See you in our next tutorial.